All right, so welcome back to Rewinding the Week with K and J. We have a guest on our show today.
First time ever.
First time ever. It's the Jamir Smith Show, his podcast. He's joining us for a discussion that we are calling A Table for One, in which we're talking about dating ourselves or dating a table for one, just dating yourself, getting to know yourself before you go out there on eHarmony or Christian Mingle. So taking that time for you to get to know you.
Oh, friend, you said welcome back to the week with K and J.
Yes.
I'm Barbie, you Shirley. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know
so we riding the week with K and J. So Jamir, how are you doing?
Hey guys, how are you? I'm super excited to be on you guys' show. And what, am I the first guest?
You are the first guest.
The very first one.
Wait, what now? What? I'm excited. Typically, I have guests on my show, but okay, this is going to be a little different, but I'm excited about the topic, so absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you for taking the time, and we are honored to have you as our first guest on our show. Mm-hmm. I couldn't think of anybody better to have than my brother from another mother.
Well, thank you, Ken and Jamal. I definitely appreciate you guys. And I say we get right into it.
Let's get into it. So, one thing I wanted to talk to you about, and one thing me and Ken talk about, is dating yourself, far as treating yourself to a manicure, flowers, dinner, not waiting around for a man or a significant other to do that, because I feel like if I'm able to do that myself, I'm already knowing what I'm interested in. So that way I don't have to rely on someone to tell me my interests. Meaning, like, let's go rock climbing. When I don't want to go rock climbing because I don't like rock climbing, but I'm trying to get to it so I can get to know you. What do you think about that? Like, just putting yourself first before you go out and put yourself out there.
Yeah. I think a couple of things. So for me, I have been single for a very long time. So shout out to my single people.
Yes.
And I believe in, first of all, you have to date yourself. And I think this topic was absolutely amazing because I believe that, first of all, before I even answer that question, a lot of people don't take the time in the moments to really date themselves and to find out what makes them happy. And I remember when I moved to New York, a lot of people would look at me crazy because they was like, wait, are you going to the movies by yourself? And I love it. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes you have to know what you enjoy doing, and then you can express those things with somebody that you're interested in. And so I always believe in, of course, those pedicure, manicure, weeks, or getting a haircut every other week and just pampering yourself. And I think we all deserve that, men and women. And so absolutely, treat yourself out. I haven't really bought myself flowers, but I have, gone out to eat, by myself. Mm-hmm. And I've enjoyed it because, of course, I'm extremely secure with me. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
I buy myself flowers. They be 3 for $12 at Harris Teeter.
I was going to say, don't they have the $4? They have some sunflowers on sale too.
They do sunflowers, flowers for like $4. But I treat myself. Now they may last not to the end of the week, but that's not the point. But it does brighten my day. And it says, like, I'm not gonna wait around to have Jake or Darren or whoever send me flowers or provide me flowers, something that I can provide for myself. I think there's a difference between being independent and just knowing to independently think. So yeah, what do you think, Ken?
Well, my plump self is gonna go buy me some candy. Y'all talking about flowers? I want to go get those M&Ms or those, chocolate covered raisins or whatever the case may be. But I think it's definitely important to focus in on you and what your likes are, what you like to do, because at the end of the day, you can only yourself, you can trust yourself. as to what it is that is going to make you happy. So I know for me, the normal things, as Jamir mentioned, about going to, get the nails and the feet done, and I'm a massage person. Shout out to Eric, my massage guy.
He gets them often.
I would not be stating where he is, because I need no thirst, because I'm thirst enough for his ass. Okay, but yes. So I think that's just very important for self-care. So if dating yourself is self-care, I wholeheartly recommend it.
Yeah, when you said go to the movies by yourself, like I do that, because if I want to see the movie, I want to see the movie. Mm-hmm. And look, it's dark in there anyway. They don't know if I'm with somebody or not. But I like treating myself to the movies by myself, because I think, even if I'm dating somebody or know somebody, they may not be interested in the same movies or style of movies that I may like. So either way, I would go on my own, whether I was with someone or not.
Okay. I thought about a couple of things that some people... I did a show, I remember, about being independent and, individualism and all of those things. And I remember a couple of questions somebody had asked me. They said, do you like being single? And have you guys experienced that? Like, you'll meet somebody, whether it's online or out and about, and, you're super attractive or you have it all together, and then they'll say, why are you single?
Are you talking about me, Jamir? Are you talking about me? Because that is what I get all the time. And even my friends are like, when you'll find somebody, you'll get that. Like, I'm okay, with just being single for right now. And honestly, if I can say with COVID, is I'm not really trying to get to know nobody I don't know anyway right now, because of the health concerns. Mm-hmm. But if you're talking about pre-COVID or before COVID, BC, as Ken would say, is I would get those questions a lot. And for me, I would get defensive, because I'm like, I'm single. And sometimes I'm single as fuck, but I'm still me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm comfortable with knowing who I am before relying on somebody else to tell me that.
Okay.
What do you think, Ken?
Ken, I was going to say, Ken, what do you think?
So I have gotten that question a number of times too, and I want to be like, that's because y'all ain't shit. But I try not to project my my thoughts onto others. But yes, I've gotten that question before, and my response to it is, why not be single? Why not focus in on yourself and your goals and your dreams, your aspirations, until that person who matches everything that you set out to accomplish, and you feel comfortable enough for them to be in your space. Why not be single? Mm-hmm. Because I think oftentimes we hop into relationships that just because we want somebody, just because we want to have that person, like, that companionship. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, it's totally great, but at the same time, I'm not gonna put myself in a situation so that I can say I have somebody and not fulfill my happiness in myself. That just doesn't make any sense. So that's my take and my thoughts. And I'm like, I'm single, and no, you can't have this wham or this wop.
I know that's right, friend.
Not the wop. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I remember a conversation that I had with one of my best friends, and one of them is a girl, and really not a question, but I remember really just a discussion we had about, is it easier to be single as a man or as a woman? What are y'all thoughts on that?
I think for a woman it's a little harder. Now, I haven't been a woman before, but so I don't want to speak on their experience. But what I'm saying is, it would be like, oh girl, you need a man, or you need a man to do that. Why are you checking your car tires or pumping gas? You need a man to do that, or you need a man to cook for, a man to make you happy. So I think for society, it's harder for women to be able to go along with the single life, where they have to be more advocates for themselves on why they're single and proud. Whereas men, we're taught to do things on our own anyway. Mm-hmm. To know how to do the car or the house or the cooking and things like that. Whereas women, in a way, and again, I haven't been a woman, so I can't really speak for them, but I would say it's harder because they may seem like they're trained or taught to cater to a man. Whereas men are taught to survive. Whether you're in a relationship, marriage, or not. So I think it's harder. Now, speaking as a gay man, I think it's hard just being an attractive, handsome, successful gay man and not have a partner. But I think it's harder for our sisters.
So I know for I agree with you. It is. Society makes it tougher for women to be in that single spotlight because oftentimes, especially with our older generations, they're like, if it's a guy, they're saying, oh well, he has time. For a woman, she's running out of time.
Yes,
and about the children aspect,
right? Because her clock, your clock is ticking. You need to, be married by a certain age. You need to have children by a certain age. So unfortunately, that type of societal norm, or what they deem as societal norm, is always projected upon a woman as to her not having enough time, and she needs to do things so quickly and not be single and enjoy her life and enjoy her freedom. And I think that is a challenge, Yeah.
That's a good point, Ken.
I was going to say, that's an amazing point. You both hit on something that I actually just thought about. How do you feel? I'm going to go one deeper. How do you feel about being a single parent as a gay man?
It's
well, Jamir, I'm a single dog parent. Does that count?
So, I had to get my thoughts together because I'm like, is it a camera in this shit? Like, I'm trying to figure out because I just feel like you just seen through me. So I've had the thoughts of what it means to be a parent and a single, gay black parent and how that looks, because that's something that I am conditioning myself to experience. Because I'm like, if I don't have my significant other in the time in which I plan to, become a parent, then that's something I have to do on my own. So, first and foremost, I mean, just from a perspective outside looking in, I'm like, oh, I think that's sexy. You better parent that child. That's what I personally think. But I mean, I imagine that it comes with a lot of its challenges because you are fighting, what is deemed the societal norms of what parents look. You're supposed to have your 2-parent household, and if you don't have that, then oh my gosh, you're probably confusing your child because you're expressing a certain way and you are who you are, and that's how you should be. But it's a lot of different challenges that a person may face, and I'm curious to know how that actually looks for those who are parents and a single male.
Yeah. For me, that's a good point. I think about it, as I joke, I tell people I'm a single dog parent. But I think I just think it would be harder with the process of having a child, of getting to be able to adopt or something. If you are a single gay man, will they be receptive of, giving me that child without having a spouse or someone? You know what I'm saying? That would be my only concerned or wary. But I've seen it done before, and so if that's the case, then that's something that I will be able to do because I know the responsibility. Is that something I want to do on my own? Absolutely not. But if that's something that is, me and Ken for our season 2, episode 1 was talking about going to the next season, next level in our life. And so if that is part of my next level, but I don't have who I want with going into that, then, that's not going to stop me because that's something that I want is to be a parent, to have a child and provide for them. So that would be my take on it.
Okay. I always think about that, and I know we're not supposed to really mirror, and I think I said this honestly in like the last few episodes, we really aren't trying to or supposed to mirror our own relationships on like our parents or friends, because I really want to create my own narrative. I really want to be able to create my own story with my partner. However, I think sometimes we think about really how will your story unfold, but in addition to how will you make sure that you're secure within your own self if you do decide to bring a child into the picture. Because I think, the quote unquote, I would love to be able to have a partner and a house and a dog and a wife. All of those sound very nice, but unfortunately, the reality I think that we live in this society, and I'll just speak primarily for gay black men, is that is there an age range that we need to be married? Is there an age range that we need to be in a relationship? Because I think, I thought about this the other day, like, wow, I'm getting older and I don't have children. I really am not looking forward to being that 70-year-old father at the schoolhouse having meetings, because now I finally got into a relationship with somebody. And I think that's what plays the scary part sometimes.
Yeah, man, like you hit that on the head, like the age part. Because, I always joke with, my friends that I'm gay old. Where I'm 31, don't tell anyone, but, I'm 31, but I joke like that's 51 in gay years, and and just like you saying, like time is ticking, having your priorities straight is ticking. So I think when you said age, like that is one of the main things, that I look at when it comes to building a family, building a partnership, or even my own goals and ambition. Like age plays a very important role for me in those aspects. So yeah, and you also said like just not when you're dating yourself, you also have to look at past problems of what went wrong, because it's not always the other person, sometimes it's you. And so knowing like if I can move to this next level in this state as a parent, or go into having another partner, or whatever the case may be, if I haven't dealt with the previous situation.
Ken, what do you think? Because I wanted to spice up you guys, and I don't know if is this a PG show or because I know
it's definitely not.
It's
say all you want. Say all you want. It's definitely not.
I have a very grown up show, so I was like,
we are grown here. We are grown. Yes.
And Ken, I didn't know if you wanted to piggyback off of that question, or because I had something that somebody had threw in my inbox. I would love to know you guys' thoughts.
You know what? Let's go for it. I want to hear.
Here we go. Let me grab my glass.
Okay. So we as single men, let's just say men, we as single men sometimes we enjoy porn. P-O-R-N, porn. Do you introduce that type of porn that you watch to your partner that when you begin to get to that level? Is that a conversation, or do you guys just kind of just skim over that? Because when you by yourself and you're trying to enjoy yourself and you start watching what you watch, do you then get to that level of I feel comfortable now, you know, introducing porn or the type of porn I like to my significant other? Or is that even a conversation?
I feel like you should be able to have that, you know, if you're comfortable enough to introduce, because you're with someone and they should know everything, you know, about you, and you should know everything about them, at least wanting to share that. So that is part of your world, and I think that you definitely should explore that. Now, of course, I would be concerned if you said, okay, let me share this porn with you, and, you know, it's a dog and a baby. That's a problem. You know,
yeah, now we got a question.
Right, now we got questions.
Then we got to go and block you.
Right,
okay.
Exactly, because, you know, we're not presenting things that are, you know, problematic, pretty harsh. But I think there is something you want to share with your significant other once you feel comfortable enough, and be like, hey, you know, let's spice it up for the night. Here's what I like to watch. Let's see what you like to watch, and things of that nature, if you want to share that. My hope for myself, though, is that, you know, when we get to a place of wanting to introduce that won't be a like a norm. That's just something for us to
add
explore together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I see that going.
I would, for me, I've heard this quote. You know, Ken knows I have the quotes, but it was basically like porn is a fantasy, not a reality, for what some of that content is shown. Mm-hmm. Now, if something like, you know, if it's a little spanking or a little choking here and there, and as you know, Cardi B said, I want you to spit in my throat and things like that. Then you know, that stuff can be introduced, like maybe, you know, the fourth time we've had intimacy, because not everyone may be up to that, you know, and so you may have to just keep that on Pornhub or XTube and with your own fantasy. But I do believe that people will eventually act out with what they don't get. What they want.
Because you need to be able to share that with your partner, because if they don't know that
freak level,
that also can help them understand like what it is that you like. If they don't know what you
Absolutely.
you know, right, that so if they are able to see, okay, this is what my partner likes and things, you can incorporate that into your sexual drive and make that a thing so it wouldn't be an issue moving forward. Because if we're holding in ourselves, I mean, if just hypothetically speaking, if you like, you know, the plus size, like myself, if you like that type of setup, then it's like, okay, well, so you know, I like it, so that way it won't be an issue later if you're suppressing that and then you venture off
and find what you want, right?
You know, like, let's go ahead and put that out on the forefront.
On the fourth, I mean, what about the fourth date or intimacy? Because let me tell you something. And I had an experience where, you know, I don't mind the grabbing and things like that in intimacy, not in public now. And somebody was like, not for that. You know, and I didn't get a call back, Jamir, but
so you didn't call back from the audition.
I didn't get a call back. I didn't make the cut, honey. You know, but we did had to do, but you know, I mean, I just what turned me on didn't turn them on. And granted, it was like a no strings attached type thing, but you know, it wasn't a part two, but.
Well, I think with that, honestly, and when you say it like that, you know, you have to put it in perspective. You express to them what you like. And I think sometimes whenever we're meeting people, sometimes we have to edge it onto them a little bit, because I think sometimes you give them everything, you know, third, fourth, fifth date, and it's like, okay, now wait a minute now. You know, we were just going out to dinner. Now, I also do believe now, if it was just, you know, a no strings attached, it was just a hookup, then, you know, being open about what you like, that holds no bars. It's like, it is what it is. And it should be, it is what it is. But, you know, and I had a last question for you guys so you can wrap up. But, I thought about this can you get on Jack and say, I can find love in my husband? Does that work?
I know you were going to try to make me laugh.
Yeah. Well, Ken is gonna cover first, but I want to say you mentioned like with Ken, as he gets older, he's already there, honey.
You know, that's you gotta love. God say love all. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do with him. That's what I'm gonna do with him. But so as far as a start to myself, I'm not a social media person. I'm typically not. You know, you're not gonna find me on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat, things of that nature. But when it comes to like the dating websites or the dating apps, I agree with you that, you know, Tinder would be something that's more, that's going to be a little more sustainable versus Jat. You may not have that type of experience as it appears to be, and oftentimes is more of a one and done site. However, I have personally met some, you know, had some flourishing friendships from Jat, as well as 2 exes from Jack as well. Mm-hmm. So that experience for me, I guess, is how you, whatever you want it to be and how you make it. So it just depends. It depends on how, you know, you approach things. Now, of course, being on a site like or app like Jack, it's like, okay, what you looking for? What's your picture? You know, as in case may be, all those different things that you go through. But through all of the, you know, noise, you may actually find somebody who is wanting to have the same setup as you, and want to actually be into something serious. So it just depends. But I agree with you that, you know, if you're going to go to your Christian Mingle or your eHarmony, or, you know, you can have a better, at least outlook on the people that you're meeting versus some of these other gay sites.
You know, go ahead, Jamir.
No. I was agreeing with Ken, absolutely.
Yeah, he hit it. I don't think you're gonna find that relationship. Now, I had one relationship through Jack. You know, and that's how actually me and friend met. You know, it's through that app. You know, and I've met another close friend. So maybe friends, I've had better chance than as far as relationship. I only had one relationship that I found on Jack.
Oh, it's very obvious we're not in those relationships now, so it's not like Jack is keeping people together.
Right. I mean, let me tell you, you know, I was talking to my friend, my sister actually, and I was like, sis, like these men on these apps are, and granted, I just have Jack and Grindr, but they're just looking for a quick, good time. Not everybody, but at least what I encounter that aren't the robots are like 90% looking just for a hit, quit, wham, bam, thank you, man. And, you know, one thing is I live in Fairfax, who may have more Tinder people than Jack and Grindr on there because of the area. And she was like, well, maybe try Bimbo or Bumble or somebody like that. You know, I don't know. Like, you know, I really feel like it's a lost cause with the apps for me. And that's what's keeping me single, is looking through those apps and hoping that somebody fall out the sky with a little maturity to want more than just new pictures and what are you into.
How I yearn for, you know, the experience to just go to a grocery store or movie and be like, oh, I just bumped into my husband.
Yeah, and make sure he ain't got a husband. Right.
But
those are the days, like, when you get to, you know, bump into somebody. Oh, excuse me, or how you doing? You know, those days right now are gone. Yeah. You know, so it's kind of hard. So, you know, I may have to be on Christian Mingle, and if you're looking for me on Christian Mingle, I'm gonna be Psalms 23 times.
Come on now. But you know what? Another thing, and it's something we can get into later, but I just thought about how the apps are perceived in the community and things of that nature. And maybe you can touch on this, Jamir, as well, is that I oftentimes feel like Jack'd and Grindr are shopping shopping apps.
Absolutely.
So people are, people have their pictures up, and you have this whole thing of everybody has their preferences, right? So somebody wants a muscle built, light skin, pretty eyes,
like me,
whatever. I can't with you. Whatever the case may be, but it feels like people are shopping for their significant other, and it's not, that takes the genuine factor out of it, because it's you only have your pictures to look at, and you're not really taking the time to know that person for them.
Read the profile. They just looking at pictures.
Right. So with that type of feel, it just makes it that much harder for you to focus in and actually find something meaningful from those types of apps, because it really does feel like people that is shopping. It's almost like you at Target and you going around with your cart and be like, that might look cute in my house.
Well, no, and that's the truth. Like literally, what you just said is exactly what I feel sometimes. Let's just say, and not to throw Tinder under the bus, but that's what Tinder is. It's kind of like you're swiping and swiping and swiping to the left, swiping to the right, and just really seeing what you can either match with or something that you think that you're interested in. And I believe in, let's just say, our community. I can't, and again, I'm not going to speak on the straight community, but I really believe in our community is that we are so driven by the physical.
We are.
When does it get to a point that you've really matured past that physical? And not to say you're going to grow to be ugly, but I do believe that, you're going to grow and life is going to happen.
Oh, yeah, that skin is not going to always be as tight.
Right. Yeah, how you look in your 20s, you may not, like, we all aren't Angela Bassett.
Hello?
How you look in your 20s, you may not look in your 40s or in your 50s. So it's kind of like, why not take an opportunity to really get to know a good guy? Maybe an attractive guy, cool, or maybe a cute guy. But he has so many other attributes with him that are so attractive, meaning he has a job,
right.
He has financial status on his own.
I mean, I know that personally makes me wet.
Ooh, gee.
It's like, he's talking about things that, if you want to talk about somebody getting hot and bothered, you're talking about their 401k. But that's no, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I do. I feel like with the apps thing, and I may have to go with the Tinder or Plenty of Fish or whatever. But we have learned how to court because of these apps, because of the next person being available. If I'm not into Ken or Jamir or Daniel, well, there's a Johnny down the street 0.63 miles from me who's looking for the same thing I want, and that's what's going to happen. Prime example is, like, I was getting to talking to somebody through Jack for a while. It was like a week and a half. And I was like, well, look, I ain't really on here like talking about it. So I'm just going to give you my number. Because I thought we were clicking real good. And so he was like, well, I typically don't give my number out firsthand on here. And so he wanted to continue to talk on Jack. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not even really on this, like, talking about it. I work. You know what I'm saying? I have things to do, and I don't see anything, but I'm vibing with you. So rather than text, he just wanted to talk on Jack. So you missed that opportunity of the courting and things. And needless to say, when he ain't text me, I ain't go back on Jack.
You know the interest, and you hit something as well as how I feel oftentimes, and a lot of that is our experiences, but many of us in the community are jaded. Many of us have experienced a level of heartbreak in relationships and people, not living up to our expectations, or just a number of things. And so we oftentimes have that whole mindset of, that one's going to be the same, right? And that is not how, at least for myself, I try to put those things into check and say, hey, I'm meeting someone, I'm talking to someone, and I'm going to lead with a clean slate, not bringing into into play my experiences with others. But I know that's harder to do, to say, harder to do than say, but it's what I've experienced is that people just have this kind of, guard up because of their own experiences, and it can be a lot.
It can be a lot, and I think that's what holds so many people back, is that we've all gone through things, and I've always been very clear with friends, with relationships. Guess what? If this is what we're living through, this is life, and we've all gone through stuff. But it's not fair for me to put you through what I've gone through. So why not, exactly what Ken said, why not give you a clean slate and let me either prove myself or let me run myself in the ground because it didn't work. So this is all I have for you guys. I enjoyed this. Wow.
Oh, thank you, Jamir.
Yes.
I mean, it's an honor to talk with you and be with you virtually.
Absolutely.
Now, once we get off the mic or whatever, I need to find out more about what are these porn things we introduced. We got to talk about that because
behind the mic.
I'm just teasing, but yes,
no. And you can see that you guys have now hit season 2, which is super exciting, and you guys' energy is absolutely fantastic. And
thank you so much. We appreciate it.
To this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jamir, and I'll be in touch as always.
Absolutely. You guys can follow me at Jamir Smith, Jamir_Smith on Instagram, and at the Jamir Smith Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Anchor FM, everything.
Yeah, subscribe to my brother's channel.
Please do.
Thank you.
You'll keep listening to this amazing channel. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. He's also single. No.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, bro. Well, I'll call you soon, okay? Well, tomorrow. All right. Good night. All right, so that was us with a Jamir Show.
And we hope that, the audio and things, because we had to, impromptu do this, we hope that you guys were able to hear the conversation clearly, but just something we wanted to bring as extra. I mean, we had our first episode, but we also want to, put a dab in there because we miss y'all. We want to give you content.
So thank you guys so much, and don't forget to follow us at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Rewine-ing the Week.
Don't follow me on Jack Day.
Don't do it, okay? Might get disappointed. And then JamalSGordon.com. And thank you guys so much. And that